ВСУ в районах населенных пунктов Осоевка, Угроеды, Миропольская, Великий Прикол и Петрушка Сумской области.
4 механизированных бригад ВСУ, бригад территориальной обороны, бригады Национальной гвардии Украины в районах населенных пунктов Купянск, Андреевка, Душелюбовка, Петропавловка, Каменка Харьковской области. Новая, Кировский Ям.
3 механизированных мотопехотной бригад, 3 бригад территориальной обороны ВСУ и бригады Национальной гвардии Украины в районах Щербиновки, Петровки, Краматорска, Славянска, Закотного, Часова Яра, Иванополья, Константиновки и Северска.
We want to end that war. We want to end it quickly, and I think we've made a lot of progress, and we'll see what happens. This next few days is going to be very important. Meetings are taking place right now. And then I looked at and I see the results. It's horrible. It's a killing field. 5,000 soldiers a week, on average, and we want to stop that. We both want to stop that for a lot of reasons, but I would say that is my number one reason. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, this morning in a Truth Social post, you used the words Vladimir, stop. That seemed like a slightly different message, a personal message. What is your level of frustration with President Putin?
I didn't like last night. I wasn't happy with it. And we're in the midst of talking peace, and missiles were fired. And I was not happy with it. That's what I meant, and that's, what it is. A lot of pressure.
Can you maybe tell us that?
We're putting a lot of pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. The Prime Minister understands that better than anybody. He wouldn't be talking right now. He's talking, and we're putting a lot of pressure. I think he wants to make a deal. We're going to find out very soon, but it takes two to tango, and you have to have Ukraine want to make a deal too, and they're being hit very hard, and I do believe they want to make a deal.
What was put before our partners was options to discuss about things that it would take to end a war. This war is endable. Both sides just have to agree to it. We've shown them a pathway forward. We've discussed those ideas. It was a good meeting yesterday. There'll be good meetings over the weekend. We've shown them the finish line. We need both of them to say yes. But what happened last night with those missile strikes should remind everybody of why this war needs to end.
I think we're just in there because we're nice people, and we are nice people, but we're using a lot of pressure on both.
What concessions, Mr. President, and to your national security team, what concessions has Russia offered up thus far to get to the point where you're closer to peace?
Stopping the war, stopping taking the whole country. Pretty big concession. We'll do the best we can, working with Ukraine. We'll do the best we can, but they lost a lot of territory. When you say Crimea, that was handed over during a president named Barack Hussein Obama. That had nothing to do with me, Crimea. That was 11 years ago with Obama. And they made a decision. There wasn't a bullet fired. There was no fighting. There was no anything. They just handed it over. Now they say, well, can you get it back? I think that's going to be a very difficult thing to do.
To move towards an end of this war, U.S. engagement is critical, and President Trump made that possible. That is clear, that is obvious, it's really happening. Now the important thing is that both parties have to know that they have to deliver, and they have to feel the pressure to deliver. Ukraine is under attack. They are defending themselves. Lives are being lost. And we believe very firmly that there needs to be a ceasefire, the initiative taken by the US some time ago. It needs to be respected. And then to move on to something which both parties can own.
This is a war that Biden was president when this war happened, but I'm trying to put out the fire, and I think we'll be successful. And if we do, we're going to save a lot of lives.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being available. I had a very good meeting with the president and with his team, with Secretary Rubio and Secretary Hagsett and Mike Wolfson as security advisor. The aspect of talks and what might be on the table or not. So you mean President Putin? Huh? President Putin. You meant the Russian president? Yeah. Yes. So I worked with him for 4 years between 2010 and 2014. I stopped trying to read his mind. We'll see, but there is something on the table now, I think, where the Ukrainians are really playing ball, and we all agree in NATO that Russia is the long-term threat to NATO territory, to the whole of the Euro-Atlantic territory. I think we are going. Thank you so much. This was very special. See you next time.